We need to approve minutes for our May 10th meeting, gentlemen. Commissioner
Second.
Jernigan, seconded by Commissioner Schaefer. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. That motion carries. We will continue our work session on the 2011-2012 budget proposal. Gentlemen, if you will turn in section 2 of your notebooks, page 86. Other social, cultural, and recreation contributions. Mayor Burgess, I'll ask for your recommendation, please.
Okay. We'll go down the list, and I'll come back on one or two of these in just a moment. But we have a whole list of these, starting with child advocacy, 2,500, domestic violence program, 31,200, Exchange Club Family Center, 22,000, Laverne Senior Citizens, 44,000, Mid-Cumberland Human Resource Agency, $56,523, Pregnancy Support Center, $3,000, Relax and Ride, $12,574, Rutherford County Primary Care and Hope Clinic, $50,000, St. Clair Streets Senior Citizen Center, $155,000, and Smyrna Senior Citizens, $45,000. A couple of those are tiny changes because they're sort of assessments, you might say. Mid-Cumberland Human Resource Agency, that's up $500. And I would think there was one more. The Relax and Ride is the same thing. It's up a little bit, but we get those numbers put back to us from the primary agencies like the RTA, et cetera, on those. So, and there's one new one on here this go round that you'll want to take note of, and that is the Child Advocate Center. We haven't had that one here before, but they have made an application along with a couple of others. But this one in particular, many of you know about this, and they serve victims of child abuse, child sexual abuse, and drug-endangered children. And this center works with the Department of Children's Services, Law Enforcement, and the District Attorney's Office to investigate and prosecute child abuse cases. Attorney General Whitesville is very, very active in this. So in any event, they've been around a while, and they're doing a great work, and I have added them, so that's up for your consideration. The total of all of that is $421,797.
For the committee, if you are a representative from any of these agencies in the audience, would you just raise your hand? Okay. Now, for the members of the committee, are there any questions that you would like to ask of any of these representatives? Or are we ready to accept the mayor's recommendation?
Are they happy with the mayor's recommendations? I mean, I see some of the requests were higher, so, I mean, we could always, I know people always need more, but are they satisfied with these amounts?
I'd say that some of them are not satisfied.
Is there anyone who would like to speak to the mayor's recommendation? I'll be glad to recognize you. Okay, would you join us at the table, please, and introduce yourself?
I'm Wanda Chandler from Smyrna Senior Citizen Center. I'm the director, and this is Kathy Lamb. She is the treasurer of the Smyrna Senior Citizen Center. And we did ask for an increase this year simply because we have lost between $10,000 and $11,000 in funding. We had a church that was meeting at our center and had been meeting there for several years, and they built a new building and moved out last August. And we have maintained, we've got the same amount for our budget for the last 3 years. We haven't increased our budget any. And as all of you know, the fundraising is getting more difficult all the time. So we had asked the county if they could help us out with this shortfall this year, and we had asked for an additional $7,000 from the county. And so we appreciate what you do for us and what you have done for us in the past. I mean, we could not keep this center going without your help, but we just was wondering if there is any money available, if we could have a little bit of help with this shortfall.
Does Smyrna City supply you with any funds?
Yes, we get $18,000 from the town of Smyrna based on the $90,000 budget. The town of Smyrna 3 years ago changed their funding guidelines. We fall into the nonprofit category, and we are only allowed to get 20% maximum of our total operating budget. They won't give us any more than that. And for the past 3 years, or past 2 years, they've given us $18,000, and we'll probably get $18,000 from them again this year.
But that's their guideline.
That's their guideline, exactly.
Which, right, you know, we could make a rule that said we didn't give anybody over X amount of dollars ourselves.
Yes.
But I don't, John.
We
Mayor?
have maintained our budget the same the last 3 years. We have had 2 fundraisers. We had a little over 900 on one. We raised 400 on the other. So we're certainly looking and doing everything we can to keep the costs down, because so many of our seniors are on fixed income, and we took a trip today and was able to, you know, do it at a reasonable price, and we want to be able to maintain that.
I know in the last few years, especially with the economic downturn, we have sent out basically word to the agencies that we're trying to hold the line on how much money, and I take it that was told to most of these agencies this year also. I mean, every agency here does great work, and I wish we could give them all 3 times what we do. But I mean, I just have a bad feeling that every one of these organizations could use more money.
Yes.
You know, and probably have just as compelling of a case as any of the others and stuff. And I'm a little bit leery of opening a door and start adjusting it here. Then, you know, the next organization say, well, hey, if you're going to start giving more money, we could use more. We could, and we're spending taxpayer dollars here. And at the same time, you're doing great work for people in tough times. We're charging people that are in tough times to take that money, and every penny we spend, we have to, in my opinion, be very considerate of.
Oh, that's well taken. I mean, I've had one discussion with one of the other entities today, and they very much need the money. And, but we don't have the wherewithal to do it at this moment.
Gentlemen, any more questions for these ladies? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. And again, we appreciate what you do for the senior center.
Makes a big difference.
Mrs. Burt from St. Clair Center, would you join us, please? And I think she has already put in our place the newsletter.
I just wanted to address, yes, I've asked for more this year. I for the last 2 years, have been at the same amount. And the number of seniors that we're serving from Rutherford County is 96% of our constituents are from Rutherford County and paying Rutherford County taxes, whether they're in Murfreesboro or Rutherford County. They're paying the taxes, so we feel like we're using that tax money wisely. And in doing this, so we're able to do more for our seniors to be able to, with the additional amount, because we do bring services to the seniors that keep them active, keep them vital in the community, and they're able to work. So they're bringing taxes that way. They're able to buy, bringing taxes like that. So we're keeping them healthy, keeping them very much active in the community. They do a lot of volunteer work, not only at the senior center. We have over 500 volunteers that work at the senior center, putting over 12,000 hours of service at the senior center. So it's doing a lot of work there, but we're helping them to stay very active. And I think that I know that every dollar that we have is well spent on taking care of our seniors here in Rutherford County. And we have like approximately 23,000 seniors in Rutherford County, and we're taking care of about a fourth of those, 25%. So we feel like this would be very our part, or Rutherford County's part in our budget to take care of our seniors.
What
And that's we're
age group
requesting.
are you calling seniors?
60 and over.
I was gonna say.
60 and over. You gotta wonderful group of it, but there's a lot, even we even have clinical things that we do there at the senior center that we're able to help them, especially the low income, because they can't always go, and especially foot care, that's a very critical issue with that. They can't afford to go and have foot care, and that's one of the areas that Medicare or TennCare is trying to not have any more in their benefits, so we're able to help them with that too. Come and visit us. You'll see, we've got, and you can see in the newsletter, we have so many things going, very, very important things for the senior centers, not only socialization, but educational opportunities, fitness, health, and wellness.
Any questions specifically to Mrs. Byrd? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the
Is there
opportunity.
anyone else who would like to speak specifically to the mayor's recommendation? Gentlemen,
I'll make a motion to approve the mayor's recommendation.
Commissioner Schaefer, thank you.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Jordan. Any further discussion? And we'll use the same procedure that we've been using in our other work sessions and just call for a voice vote to facilitate each of these. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. That motion carries. Gentlemen, please turn to page 92 in your notebooks. This is the tourism budget. Mayor Burgess, your recommendation, tourism on page 92.
Okay. Okay. That's on page 92, and the total of that is $345,000. That's the recommendation.
And then if you'll turn to the back side of that page.
Okay, and there are 5 components that make that up. And Ms. Nolan can tell you that Chamber of Commerce, that 30% of the hotel motel tax, that's her estimate for the revenue we will receive there, and that's the way that's been allocated heretofore. So that's a number that she generates. The Heritage Center and the Main Street are 2, Heritage at $15,000 and Main Street at $25,000. Those are the same numbers. And here again, this will be a decision you will need to make. We have a few historical treasures in this county, and this county has, I think, has an ongoing responsibility to preserve these things that go all the way back to the Civil War. And I think the Oaklands Association and the Sam Davis Home both should have been in here even years ago, but I think this would be a reasonably small effort to show them how much we really treasured what they're doing down there. I know, I'm not even sure either one of them even here tonight, but I know the Sam Davis Home is really had a tremendously difficult struggle. They've almost cut their hours back to non-existent, but we must keep those places open for us today and for all of our kids for tomorrow. And if we don't help them some, I'm really concerned about their ability to survive. And I think it's critical. So that's my recommendation, $2,500 each for those 2, for a total of $345,000.
Mayor, the estimate on the Chamber of Commerce, the 300,000, I mean, that's where the biggest chunk is, and that's a set amount that they get from the tax.
Right.
So that's not really a decision we'd make. It's basically what they're getting. Now, if the taxes come in less than
They get
300,
less.
we're not obligated for the
Right, they
full.
get 30%, and so this is just our estimate of what we
Okay.
think the motel tax will come in.
So we may not have an increase in that line, even with that addition.
Don't be
I just wanted to clarify that, so, okay.
And as we did with the other group, those people who are representatives of these 5 agencies and groups that the mayor just reiterated, if you will let us know that you are in attendance by raising your hand. And gentlemen, do you have any questions that you would like to ask for any of these representatives? Any of the representatives would like to speak specifically to the mayor's recommendation? Okay, the chair will entertain a motion.
Motion
Second.
to approve the mayor's recommendation.
Okay, Jordan, seconded by
I was
Commissioner
gonna say,
Jordan.
some of those, probably the difference in that 300,000, Smyrna's gotten quite a few new hotels, motels, and, you know, Sam Davis, or Sam Ridley Parkway, you know, so that's increased quite a bit in that whole area out there, so it's probably made a difference.
Any further discussion relative to the motion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, that motion carries. Gentlemen, if you will turn please to Section 6 in your notebook, the Industrial Economic Development Fund. Mrs. Nolan, our Finance Director, will review that fund real briefly for us.
This fund, we received interest from 2 notes from the Wary Housing and the Smyrna Airport. We are estimating between those 2 items $97,690 in revenue, and then the expenditures appropriations would be $130 for the Destination Rutherford, $96,500 for the Regional Council.
Economic Development
Thank you.
Council.
I mess that one up every time. And then the last is the contract with government agencies is the portion that we would do back to the city of Smyrna. A total of $244,510.
Commissioner Jernigan, thank you.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Sandlin.
I'm looking for the increases here in our
The only increases in the Destination Rutherford, about $25,000.
And why is that?
They're embarking upon another journey of trying to continue to help us create jobs. And this is a new endeavor. You can see they ask for a lot more than that. And it's another effort to support everything we can to possibly encourage and participate in. One of the most important things I think we're trying to do is continue to attract good jobs to our county.
Any further discussion relative to this motion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, that motion carries. Okay, gentlemen, if you'll back up to Section 2, pages 71 and 72. We will continue our work on the general fund, and for the benefit of those in the audience whose budgets we will be reviewing tonight, this is the procedure we will follow. I will ask the department head or the representative to join us at the table. The mayor will give his recommendation. The department head or the representative will have a chance to speak to the details of your budget. The members of the committee will have opportunity to ask questions as needed, and then the chair will entertain a motion. On pages 71 and 72, the Health Department. Ms. Garrett. 71 and 72. Good evening. And Mayor Burgess,
Okay, this first piece, what you have labeled there on page 71 is Local Health Center. This is the county's piece of the health department, as you're aware. And you can see, if you look at the total first, there's a $6,000 increase from $645,000 to the recommendation is $651,437. There are nominal changes, as I indicated. There's a couple of $1,000 increase on communications. Utilities, a couple of thousand. Past that, there's really not anything noteworthy to point out that actually has any change. So those two are about 4,000, and the total changes is about 6. So the recommendation is $651,437.
Commissioner Jernigan, thank you.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Sandlin. Discussion?
Your communications, was that phone bills up, or?
Yes, we were going to add some cell phones for our staff that do home visits in the homes, some are for safety.
Understandable.
Yes.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, that motion carries. Mrs. Garrett will stay with us as we turn to page 77 for the dental health program. Mayor Burgess?
This is a program that we've had in place, and it's our contribution, again, I guess you could say, to the dentist is a state employee, but this is our participation in providing, I guess, support and supplies for that operation. There's no change in this year's budget. The recommendation is $12,400.
So moved, Madam Chairman.
Second.
Commissioner Sandlin, seconded by Commissioner P. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. Also, Mrs. Garrett will remain for the other local health, which are state dollars, page 78.
And on page 78, that budget is up just a tiny bit because of normal increases in a few of those employee step increases, et cetera. But the recommendation is $1,789,873. That's the recommendation, and this is the state's portion, and they fund this particular part of the budget.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner B, thank you. Seconded by Commissioner Schaefer. Discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Garrett. Pages 73 through 75, Pet Adoption and Welfare Center, or Services. Mr. Gregory. Mayor Burgess, your recommendation, please.
Okay, the recommendation is $1,304,737. You're going to notice that that's about $85,000 less, but we'll point those areas out. So this has several changes that we will bring to your attention, and I'll identify those as we sort of go down through here quickly. But in line 101, we do have a new director who has not been with us nearly as many years as the previous one, so you see there's about a $11,000 reduction there. You'll see in line item 164 that there's an increase there of about $37,000. That, what we're having now, you'll see in 189, also there's an increase from 45 to 59. We have on staff now a veterinarian, and with that comes the need for a new position, a vet tech, a person to assist with the surgeries, et cetera. So that's the very reason the attendance line item is up. And then we've reduced that personnel, part-time personnel line item just a bit. That was brought forth by the director. Now, that's about all on that first page. The second page, there are some smaller changes on maintenance and repair vehicles. They are aging in place a little, so we've added $1,500 to that particular line item. Under 357, there's a material reduction there in that we have been issuing vouchers to allow off-site veterinarians to do the spaying and neutering, and that will be done on-site. So you can see that we've reduced that by $54,000.
Are we still giving people the option there? Is that why the 3,000 is left in there?
I don't know where the 3,000.
The 3,000 is left in there. We have emergency vouchers, $30 a piece, to where if an animal's injured in the middle of the night, we can take that to a veterinarian to be seen by. So we left a little money in there so that when Dr. Bingham is off, vacation, whatnot, we've still got some money there to be able to get those animals seen in emergency cases.
Okay. The other contracted services, that's the contract that we've had, we've retaken those bids, so that's gone up $10,000, but that's the cost for incineration of animals.
What was the line item again?
That was $399.
And that's for 3 years?
That's an annual, I don't know what's the 3-year
I
agreement,
believe
but
it's a 5 year.
5 years,
That was
that's-
bid out, but it's I think it's $75,000
Per year.
for the 5
Yeah,
years.
it stays the same.
Correct.
Yeah.
there's an increase a bit in custodial supplies there. Now, 413 is drugs and medical supplies. With the in-house vet, he is going to need additional actual supplies to assist in surgery, meds, et cetera. So that's increased $23,000. You'll see in line item 707, this is that plus line item 790 is the primary reasons that reduction is substantial as much as it is. The $65,000 that we had in building improvements, we're hoping to get that done mostly this year in this budget, so we that probably won't actually finish this year, but we're not putting anything in the next year's budget. And the same thing for this equipment, that's for equipment, et cetera, that's needed to supply the vet for the tools and surgical devices, et cetera. So that's decreased from 50,000 to 15,000. In any event, that sort of reviews the major points. And again, the recommendation is $1,304,737.
That's been a reduction. I'll make a motion to approve.
Commissioner P., thank you.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Jordan.
And the veterinarian, though, he was already, since we were searching, we had the money in last year's budget for him, didn't we?
We had partial money in that. We're not going to use nearly as much as we had in there for this year, because he didn't come until
April the 4th.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we haven't spent that 45,000 we had set up.
Okay.
Is that what we're paying the new vet, about
We're
45,000?
paying the new vet exactly what you see here
The
in
difference.
59. It's 59,000.
Gentlemen, we do have a motion and a second. Do we need further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Thank you. That motion carries. Page 76, Community Care, Mr. King.
Okay. We take care of this will be a no-brainer. Anyway, site development, he has requested $22,500. I have recommended $15,000. We had $7,500, I believe, recommended this year that he hadn't actually used. But in any event, in the spirit of just picking a number that we might think is reasonable, we're recommending $15,000 to allow him to do some parking lot resurfacing, et cetera, on that property out there that we own.
So moved, Madam Chairman.
Commissioner Sandlin, seconded by Commissioner Schaefer. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. Page 79, Tennessee Rehabilitation Center.
Well, here's a very noteworthy cause, and this is the same money that they've had for a while, $43,500, and I'm sure they'd love to have more, but I think, again, as we discussed earlier, we're happy to try to continue this relationship. $43,500 is the recommendation.
So moved, Madam Chairman.
Commissioner Sandlin.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner P.
Do you receive state monies also? Okay, what about Murfreesboro City?
The monies that we receive, and we do receive some from the city of Murfreesboro. The monies that we receive are matched by federal dollars. For every $1 we receive $2.3 in federal matchment.
Besides the city and the county, where do you get any from?
City of Murfreesboro, Rutherford County, City of Laverne, Smyrna.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. Page 80,
Page 80.
Sanitation and Waste Removal. This used to be Griffin.
This is large animal removal.
Appertain.
That's
It
it.
is Appertain.
Appertain.
currently.
I couldn't
And
remember.
we're recommending $40,200. And quite honestly, we don't have officially worked out what the arrangement's going to be going forward, but this is our best estimate at this moment.
So we don't have a signed contract?
We have a signed contract that just goes through this year. We have not executed another one yet. I mean, they're certainly willing to, and in all probability, that's what we'll have to do, but we've been trying to find other alternatives,
That's what I was gonna say.
and it really hasn't worked out exactly like we'd like for it to in a practical way. Composting, et cetera, is about the only thing they've come up with.
This is, second.
Commissioner Jernigan, seconded by
This has
Commissioner
become a
Jordan.
metropolitan county. There are still a lot of cows and horses in this county. And that's just we're in the middle of a perfect storm, in my opinion. We're a more rural county, you could deal with it easier. In a more metropolitan county, wouldn't have as many animals as we have here. So we're in the far as this little situation, we're in about the worst place we could be, but very needed thing for the rural areas.
This is for wildlife too.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a few deer get hit in the city limits of different municipalities here too.
Couldn't
so.
handle our situation at all.
No, sir. I mean, the cost to incinerate one of these animals is,
Well, I'm not talking about incinerating. Can they handle our
no,
situation?
we don't have a way to pick these animals up.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, that motion carries. Page 81, other public health and welfare. These are for autopsies.
Okay, the recommendation is $192,000, and you can see that first line item there is what we pay our, you might say our medical director, Dr. Warner, for $14,400. The next is for autopsies. That line item, the amended budget is $225,000, and Lisa and I have just put $175,000. We hope that's enough. We're not sure. That's our best approximation right now. And the next line item is for Dr. Warner's liability insurance, so we're recommending $192,000.
We have no control over this, do we?
No, sir.
We just have to pay for whatever's deemed
Right.
necessary.
Move to approve.
Commissioner
Second.
Jordan, Jernigan, seconded by Commissioner Petty.
I do have a question. Our county coroner, are there any fees involved with that position?
Mike
And it's
Nunley
not
is our
being
county-
reflected here, so.
They're not reflected. Mike Nunley is the county coroner, though, and he didn't, of course, he's an employee.
Well, that's what I was wondering, if he was getting any compensation for
No,
that.
sir.
All right.
And we have to pick up the liability insurance?
Yes, sir.
All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Thank you, motion carries. Gentlemen, page 82, adult activity. We have two gentlemen joining us.
Ben McNeely was out of town this week.
Okay.
She wasn't able to.
Mr. Cunningham
George
and,
Cunningham, Dennis Marin.
okay.
And again, another very worthy organization there, and we're again recommending the same money they're getting currently, $32,000. And I know they'd love to have more, but it's sort of the same story we've been discussing already. But they do a good job, great job.
Move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Jernigan, seconded by Commissioner Jordan.
Can we ask just what they cover? What do you actually do?
Sure. We work with about 110 adults with mental retardation who live in Rutherford County, and we provide day training. We have a sheltered workshop. We do community job training and placement. We work with people in special, in their needs, activities of daily living, speech, physical therapy. That's for about 110 people, and then about for 50 people, we also provide residential services in supported living homes of about 2 or 3 people each, and they're all throughout Murfreesboro, actually. But it's, and there's no charge to the individuals for the services. We're a private, nonprofit agency.
Are y'all doing any kind of contract labor with any of the industries around, small jobs and things like that?
Sure, we
That's-
get a lot of subcontracts from different factories, different businesses. That's what we do in the sheltered workshop. We bring that work in and people put things together.
That's the 110 people that you're talking about.
Correct.
So.
And then for some of them, they're also working in the community at restaurants or hotel or stores, businesses.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you all.
Page 83, Retired Senior Volunteer Program.
And that's $1,500 that we recommended. That's been something that's been in here for a long time. That's through the Mid-Cumberland Community Action Agency, and they have an RSVP service, you might say, that helps with senior citizens in some of their smaller assistance needs. So recommending $1,500.
Motion approved.
Second.
Commissioner Jordan, seconded by Commissioner Sandlin. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, motion carries. Page 84, gentlemen, Linebaugh Library. Mrs. Shacklett will join us. Mayor Burgess, your recommendation, please.
Okay, I'm recommending $1,154,481, and yes, that is an increase. They haven't had an increase the last couple of years, and they have a number of employees that really, I think, are doing a great job, and they are deserving of some nominal increases, and I don't know what else you would like to say to you there, but, I mean, I support very much the fact that they need to have this particular increase.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Commissioner P., thank you. Seconded by Commissioner Jernigan.
Are they salary increases for the employees, or is it more employees?
Salary increases. And the other major expenses we had this year were health insurance, because we do our own insurance since we're not part of the city or the county. The estimate we have is anywhere from 15% to 70% increase in our health insurance. And so we budgeted for a 40% increase, hoping that's enough. And we also have aging buildings, and we've been told we need a new chiller within the next 3 to 5 years at $200,000. And we don't want to have to come back and say, can we have more money, please? So we're trying to build in some maintenance reserves to build that up, to be prepared when it goes out. Not fun.
Any further discussion relative to this motion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank
Motion
you.
carries. Mr. Cates, if you will join us, please. Page 85, gentlemen. This is the Parks and Fair Board, the recreation budget. Mayor Burgess.
Okay, I'm recommended an increase of about $20,000 to this budget. $387,335 is the recommendation. And all of you know as well as I do, this is the probably the best program we've got, best return on investment we could have on recreation for our county. In any event, there's two primary things that we're doing here. Line 189, so that he can expand his programs and have some more part-time people delivering some programs during the summer and the winter. There's $10,000 increase there, and there's a $9,000 increase so that they can give out to our community volunteer groups some additional money. They're maintaining all of these ball fields and stuff, and they're just doing a wonderful job. This allows them some more flexibility to continue to support those programs. So that's where $20,000 of this increase is coming, and I strongly recommend this.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Jordan, seconded by Commissioner P.
They do an outstanding job throughout the county for what they got to do with it.
And pull the basketballs and a roll of duct tape, and they make it all work.
We're proud of that, that we can get by on this level today.
And Mr. Cates has done a remarkable job with limited resources and just really getting some real good returns on
Is
this.
this open to kids from the city, just for curiosity? Can they win?
We're open to anybody in Rutherford County. We try not to duplicate what the municipalities do, but we're open to anybody in the county.
This line item 316, that's 10% of the hotel motel tax that goes to the city to take care of the greenway.
Oh, did I mess up on that one? I misspoke there. Where is this money, excuse me, Mr. Cates?
It's the match.
Where's the money
The
that we
339.
are able to, the Conservation Board is actually able to give for these? Is that somewhere else?
Matching.
It's the 339 matching, and then the other one,
I'm
the
sorry.
399 of the
So,
contract services.
forgive me, I misspoke there.
But you're right in the fact that it was additional money in the other salaries and wages for other programs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, while he's sitting there, I just want to say thank you for a job well done. I know everybody, all of our communities benefit from this, and especially these children. And a lot of them, it's one meal they get that a lot of them wouldn't get. And I really appreciate what y'all done. Thank you.
I appreciate you saying that.
Gentlemen, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, that motion carries. Pages 87 and 88. Agriculture Extension, Mr. Tuggle. And Mayor Burgess, on page 88, your recommendation, please.
Okay. Well, the recommendation is $687,668. I'll say that with it may be that we have to approve this subject to approval of the Conservation and Recreation Board. That would be the right board, Anthony, that's under your purvey, because we have some issues here that they haven't officially taken action at a meeting to endorse what we're proposing to be done here, but I think this will have to be discovered and finalized with them, and I'll tell you what that is as we go down through here, okay? All right. And on line item 161, at the request of Mr. Tuggle and at the assistance with Ms. Stevenson, we have reviewed some of the relationships and some of the job responsibilities for some of his positions, and that increase there is for an upgrading of 2 positions on his staff that Sonia has agreed that is needed and necessary and appropriate. The part-time personnel has been reduced by about $11,000, and part of that money is going to be used to fund what we're calling a facility oversight person, and that person is located on line item 189. And that person there is going to be the one that brings about this discussion that may require an approval subject to their approval, all right? Let's see what else, and then, of course, connected to that on this line item 205, the insurance is up $8,000 for that particular person. Now, let's see, those are the primary items. Saying all that to say that we've had discussions, and they had offered at one point, but no official action has been taken to help us with the funding of this additional person to the amount of $20,000 out of these funds that they're collecting from rental fees, which they have collected, a fair amount of that over a period of time, and they have built up some reserve there. So this has, you don't see it on this sheet, but she has on another sheet somewhere the revenue of that $20,000 that we would be getting from that particular use of where they had collected the rental income. So this recommendation is made subject to agreement by the Conservation and Recreation Board that they would support this approach, which they did indicate they would earlier. And Mrs. Nolan, we have found this resolution.
They've got a copy of it.
Did y'all have a copy of there somewhere?
Should be the back last page in our packet.
Last page in your packet. And
This is the commission approved this resolution.
Behind the agenda. Behind the agenda.
so here's a copy of that right there.
This resolution the commission approved October 2003, and this was at the request of the Conservation Board that any funds in excess of the amount spent in account 57-100-499, their other supplies and material, would be set aside and designated for their purposes.
This would be their purposes, would it not? This employee is managing that facility.
That's what he's saying, but it's to come out of the reserve. What we're requesting is that it be, that the rental income collected be used to provide funding for still the account 57-100-499. Also, there's a line item 302 that's new advertising, and they're wanting to collect additional rent to cover some advertising that they will do. So we need the rent to cover this line as well. And then $20,000 towards the salary that's in 189.
As Conservation Board, I've had some conversations with some of the members. They're on, I know from what I've heard, they're good for the $20,000. But I haven't heard about the $3,000. We want them the $3,000 from the
Well, because they're going to collect it too.
Okay, I haven't talked to them in a while.
They approved to increase the farmers market rental fees to make up for that, and that's what we calculate that those fees will come up to $3,000.
Well, we built a tremendous facility out there over the last several years, and this person is terribly needed to be able to manage that efficiently. Whereas now, if we have something on a Friday night in the facility, there's nobody there to go in and get it ready to go again. It sits dead till Monday, and we need somebody that's on hand. I know it's been talked about in the past. I'm on the Ag Board, so I'm involved in that. And Commissioner Sandlin's on the Ag Board, and we may be a little prejudiced because I think there's a lot of that facility out there. And, but I do think we need this position badly.
I think we would need to change the resolution that we've been working under, too.
And she has the language here,
It's
it's
gonna be
just,
two different motions, are we gonna do?
yeah.
We need two different motions.
Well, this resolution says for agricultural center purposes.
Yes, but it's been identified for account that.
She
And
thinks-
any remaining revenue
She
at the
thinks we need
end.
to add the other 2 account numbers, just like that one is already there.
Okay.
Will this be ongoing each year? Any of the revenue left over will go toward this guy?
It stays, yeah, well, until we change this, that 20,000 would stay there. There was some discussion that next year, if they want to work with us, we might want us to take that down. We'll just have to see how their revenue comes in.
Well, the way you worded that, you said this has been accumulating over a period of
Well,
years.
they-
He has
So I'm-
accumulated,
they have
so what I'm
accumulated
saying is,
balance.
will there be reoccurring money each year enough to cover this salary
And
increase?
That's what we budgeted
We think so.
the rental income to.
Maybe after a
enough
couple of
for
years, we'll have to have a
20
conversation
Yeah.
and see what's
Yeah.
going
Yeah,
on.
there he is, and they've got enough in there already built up to handle it. We think,
From my recollection, the main reason this resolution came to us and was passed, was nobody wanted to see the money from out there going to a whole nother department. The money needs to
Somewhere
keep
else,
going toward that facility, the management or maintenance of that facility, and this is that. But I don't think anybody wants to see that, we can start helping pay off debt with the money from that. We just don't want to be robbing that fund, so.
Well, I agree with the 2 members on the Ag Board, and I happen to eat regularly, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty in favor of agriculture.
What about this resolution? Will we just send this resolution to the full commission for approval? Does that have to go to steering? I mean, I don't remember a resolution
I think
starting.
this
This
came
is out of
from,
budget.
this came from
Came from
our
budget,
committee
yeah.
to the full commission.
So we go ahead and send this to the next commission meeting, or are we gonna wait and do this at the same time we do the
let's
budget?
wait, let's take it all at budget time.
Take it in
Don't do it
June.
On the 27th?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Oh, take
Because we
it.
need,
If
well,
you
they're,
want-
they're meeting this week, so we need to get them to officially agree to this too.
We need a
Did you wanna
motion.
do it sooner?
We can go ahead and do this, I mean, this.
Oh, we can do it in our June meeting as well.
Yeah, we can do it in the June meeting.
Okay.
But if the budget were to not pass as presented, that would be moot, then it
Yeah,
would be.
that's right.
So do this on June, regular June meeting.
And it wouldn't be needed, this resolution wouldn't be needed, if the budget got changed on the commission floor.
Oh, I see.
Right.
Okay.
You know, that would, I would hope that wouldn't happen.
Make a motion to approve the mayor's recommendation.
Commissioner Sandlin,
And the
thank you.
resolution.
And
If
Commissioner
we need to settle
Jernigan.
that separately.
Should that be a separate motion on the
All,
resolution?
what this is, it's direction for the county
And-
department, how to handle the leftover monies at the end of the
And-
year. So I would say that this is effective for July 1, 2011. That will still follow what is laid out here for this current fiscal year, but this other piece, for
Okay.
different methodology at the end of next year.
Basically, you just put another account number in there.
Mhm.
Two more
Two
account
more.
numbers.
2 more account numbers.
Well, you can make the recommendation to approve this, and then concurrent with that, with the beginning of next fiscal year, we adopt the resolution, this resolution to include and accommodate what we've done here as far as.
Put that together.
Yeah.
So this motion needs to also contingent on the Conservation Board approving, those who made the motion, who was that? Commissioner Sandlin, second by Commissioner Jernigan, and also including the modification and adding those new account numbers to the resolution.
Right.
Okay? I think we better call the roll, yes. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Baum,
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan,
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan,
Yes.
Commissioner P,
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin,
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer,
Yes.
Commissioner Ely.
Yes. Anything else? Is that all? Okay, thank you very much. Gentlemen, page 89, soil conservation.
Okay.
Mrs. Goodman is joining us.
Yes, hello.
And Mayor Burgess, your recommendation, please.
Well, the recommendation is $118,033, and really, The only significant change we have here is they wanted some additional money to plant some more gardens, I believe. So line item 316 is increased $3,000.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Salmon, seconded by Commissioner P.
Everybody needs to play.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, motion carries. Thank you, Deacon.
Did you pick him up on the side of the road?
Page 93, Other Economic and Community Development. Mrs. Nolan and/or Mayor Burgess, this is the home grant.
This is a home grant, what we are estimating to go into next year with, that will not be spent in the current year.
I'm sorry, go ahead and do what?
It's a home grant, it's the expenditures, and we'll have offsetting revenue for the home grant. This is to rehab some houses.
I'll second.
Commissioner Jernigan, seconded by Commissioner P. Discussion?
Last year, we also had this grant. Was that actually any of the money spent on that, or am I mistaken?
We got it this year, and we didn't have any in the prior year.
I was thinking this was the second year. Well, this was the
This is-
year, and then
We just
we're
got
looking
it this
forward
year.
at the next year.
So
Okay.
we're not going to get to really spend the money till next fiscal year.
I know I told a few people to give you a call, like you had mentioned.
We've
so-
had applications. We've got 2 people already qualified, and I think a couple more they're working on.
Okay.
This can't be used for roads and subdivisions.
Oh, no, sir. This is-
Okay.
It's not even funny.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, that motion carries. The garage, county garage, pages 94 and 95.
The recommendation is $289,454. There's a couple of line items you'll notice there. We've increased the gasoline expenditure on line item 425 by $10,000, and that's $60,000, and the a small increase in utility cost. And then other supplies and materials, we had a couple of items we just sort of added together, which made that $10,000 go to $13,000. That included some lubricants that they had elsewhere. So it's a $15,000 increase. Recommendation is $289,454.
Move to approve.
Commissioner Jernigan,
I'll second it. but-
seconded by Commissioner P. And Commissioner P., did you want to make a comment?
Right, I had a question here. Is this where our trucks or fire engines are being fueled? I know there was some discussion about tank size. I was wondering if we'd looked at that.
Yes, that's.
I was just wondering if we've looked at that and looked at what the cost would be to get a larger tank or.
We have done all of the above. I am anticipating receiving momentarily a proposal from the city of Murfreesboro to allow us to use their fueling depot. We've just had that discussion with them. So, and as far as the larger tanks, yes, we've looked at that, not this year, but I did previously, so that could be done. But I think access-wise and otherwise, I think we might really ultimately long-term, unless this arrangement with the city could work out really strategically well, we really ought to have our own location at some point in our life, and whenever that, but we haven't been able to find the way to do that yet.
Is there any possibility of working with TDOT? I know they have also a facility here.
That, I had not thought about that.
Well, maybe something else we can look at.
Okay.
TDOT ain't got but a handful of people here, about 6.
I don't know if
They
they
got
have-
some large tanks.
I don't know if they have a fuel depot that's accessible all 24/7.
Well, I don't know about that.
That's what we'd like to get.
Yeah.
Any further discussion?
Notice the mechanic wasn't in for a pay raise on there. Is that,
Well, I don't know what
is
he's
he
not.
maxed out or
No,
something?
it's not time.
It's just not
It's
his
not
step
time.
time.
I mean, he got it, if you go back a year, he got his step this year. So this is the current year, and then next year will be the second year in the step.
They just got it this fiscal year, not, and so.
10,
next year
11,
they-
yeah.
Yeah, 10, 11.
Between 9, 10,
Yeah.
10, 11, he got step.
Mhm. There's a mechanic and 2 other employees.
Okay.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, that motion carries. Page 96, employee benefits.
We'll let Ms. Nolan
The,
take that one.
the first one, the employee insurance, this is the pool that we set aside and we tap it during the year when we reconcile, where everybody, once they make their elections in January. If you remember all those amendments we did to insurance, if there is somebody lacking, we'll pull from this amount. Unemployment compensation is, I mean, it's self-explanatory. Other fringe benefits is the county's contribution of 50% of the retirees' insurance premiums. These will be for the county employees. The school board has an offsetting, I mean, they also have a line in their budget for the same purpose for their employees.
That just went up 25,000.
Mm-hmm. That's our estimate. The workers' of course, now the school boards is a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the bulk of the.
Yeah.
Now, the workers' compensation,
Participants,
that
yeah,
is
it's kinda small.
the general fund's contribution into the fund that pays the claims for the OJI in those workers' comp claims.
So moved, Madam Chairman.
Commissioner Sandlin.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner P. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, that motion carries. Page 97, payment to cities.
This is the payment where that we make to the town of Smyrna for their share of the Nissan pilot agreement.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner P., thank you, seconded by Commissioner Schaefer.
How do you know that that's what it's gonna be? Doesn't it
It's-
vary, has some variances in it that it could?
There is, there could be, but we'll
But this
reconcile it
is,
at the end.
Again, a best estimate.
Mhm.
Okay.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, that motion carries. Page 103, the energy efficiency block, this is ARA.
We have one more year that we can move these expenses, or this grant into. We'll have to complete it next year. And there's estimating 112,250 that will not be spent in the current year to roll into next year.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner P., thank you.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Jernigan. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, motion carries. Pages 105, 106, we have a few things left in miscellaneous.
And this is our pool for gasoline, judgments, and 500,000, and the trustees commission 880,000.
Not much to play with there. It is what it is. Motion to approve.
Commissioner Jordan, thank you.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Sandlin.
You didn't move these items just because it wasn't clear where
It's
they
not-
should go.
exactly.
Had no idea where to put them.
Exactly, because I mean, that gasoline could be all over the place.
Getting that audit next year. we'll move
Wouldn't
that.
want to stick it, I mean, maybe we could put it all in the mayor's budget, $100,000. Or the garage. Okay.
The mayor doesn't have a county vehicle. Let's leave the gasoline account off of it.
That's right.
Any further discussion?
Agrees with that.
All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Thank you, that motion carries. Gentlemen, if you will turn to section 5 in your notebook. We are ready now for the ambulance service fund, and Mr. Nunley will join us.
Last but not least.
Save the best for last.
For tonight.
Good evening. Thanks.
Okay.
We're estimating revenue of this fund, $10,725,733.
First 8 pages.
Yes, that's it.
Okay, first 8 pages are revenue, the revenues, and then, of course, followed by the expenditures, which is total.
Total, $10,687,049.
Okay, so that's our recommendation, $10,687,049. I guess we should probably go through a few of these to see if you have questions, or we'll point out some things.
I got a question before you get
Okay.
cranked up.
Yes, sir.
How's our new collection agency coming on?
We collected $500,000 last month.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at what you're bringing in, what you're expecting to expend, and you're one of the few agencies that's making us money, so that's all right. I just wanted to point that out and say thank you.
The collection agency, we felt like the first 2 months were going to be the worst, and they were, but they weren't as bad as we were expecting, to be honest with you. And then last month, and that's where we need to be, is $500,000 a month, so, and then we hit it.
Jim, if you'll look at the last 3 pages of Section 5, that will be the expenditure part of the budget.
Okay, and we'll just point out a few of the places, and Mr. Nunley will assist in this. Line 133, there are no new positions there, but you'll notice that's about a $75,000 increase. That's with normal step increases, plus I believe there's 2 EMTs that are going to already become paramedics that will be funding that through the course of that time. We have changed, if you'll notice, between 166 and that next line item, what was listed as custodial personnel, that person's gone, and we put that over into maintenance so that we can use the skills and talents of that person more effectively and efficiently. So there's a bit of a little change there, but same person, correct, Mr. Nunley, I believe? Part-time personnel, they have proposed to reduce that with $25,000. Overtime pay is up about $10,000 requested. In-service training has reduced about $30,000. I don't remember exactly how we discussed that, Mr. Lundy, but you might have a better memory than me on that. If so, you can tell them. I don't know what.
We're actually doing a lot of online training rather than sending people to classes and stuff, which we make it available to them. They're required by the state of Tennessee to have a certain number of continuing education credits in order to renew their license every 2 years. So we make it available to them, and they do it on their own time, so that saves us some money.
Okay. And you'll notice we've made an effort to go ahead and put some unemployment compensation in this budget this time for $5,000. Line item 338 is reduced about $40,000, but remember that the ambulance service for this fiscal year, they have been taking care of the maintenance and repair, and even, I believe, the fueling on those our fire rescue vehicles and trucks. They stepped up and helped us sort of bridge that gap there, and I think that's so they're not. Now, this coming year, we're going to have that money in the actual fire rescue budget. Postal charges, there's a savings here again on the change to the billing system. I suppose we're not having to do nearly as many mailings in this particular approach. Now, here you'll see an increase on $399. Those other contracted services, that's the piece that we see as the compensation that the billing company is going to be receiving, the $225,000, I believe. Again, on gasoline on 425, that reduction is because that gasoline expenditure is going to be over in the fire rescue piece this next fiscal year. Utilities are down just a little. I don't know if that's just a circumstance or a reality, but we haven't done anything really to affect that, have we?
We just based it on our current billing.
And 499, I think those of you in public safety have heard this discussion. We must replace some old antiquated furniture, particularly some chairs with springs showing. So when you consider all the number of stations that we need to make a bit of housekeeping improvements, that's a $19,000 increase to $43,000 there.
425 gasoline, that's all diesel. You just, I mean, that's
So
just,
we have some gasoline vehicles too, the supervisors.
this line ain't gasoline though, is it?
Yeah, that's all.
It's
That's well, it's all together. You put it all together.
Yeah.
Fuel, so to speak.
Yeah.
Some departments have a separate diesel line.
I noticed that. I noticed, well, I was wondering, most of your ambulances are diesel.
Now we're getting picky.
All the ambulances are diesel, but
Maybe.
several of our other vehicles are
I get that
not.
look at home all the time.
But it's just all combined in the same.
Good, let's use that, let's
You
use
are male.
that. Let's use that.
Okay, in line item 718, motor vehicles, you can see that we don't have any money this year in the budget. In the previous year, we were very fortunate to get the Chris Houston Foundation to help us with buying 4 vehicles. But we need to replace vehicles on an ongoing basis, so that $197,000 is for 2 ambulances next fiscal year. And the health equipment, 735 line item, that $60,000 is for a range of defibrillators and stretchers and et cetera that they need to have to purchase. So in any event, the recommendation is $10,687,049.
The $197,000 for 2 ambulances, is that moving the chassis over that we've currently got? Because I didn't think we could buy 2 ambulances for $197,000. That's not complete setup. Now that's,
We think we can.
you think you can?
Um,
I thought at one point in time, we were paying significantly more per ambulance than that.
30-something apiece, weren't we?
We're still thinking, when we bought the other ones, it included the defibrillator, and it included the radios, and it included the stretcher, and we've broken those out. The mayor just mentioned 735, that's where the defibrillators and the stretchers are. And the 708 account is the radios for the 2 ambulances, so they're broken out.
Okay.
I know a couple of years, or maybe last year, we were able to buy some demo models or something that were 2 or 3 years old for a significant savings. So I didn't know if you'd found some more in that same stash or what.
Not yet, but we may.
Still looking.
So we gotta remember, we went, 3 years or so without buying any. And then we've also added stations over time.
Madam Chairman, motion to approve. He always has a pretty tight and good budget, so.
Commissioner
Does a good
Salmon,
job.
seconded by Commissioner P. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, that motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Nunley. Is there any other business to come before our committee? Gentlemen, I'll remind you of our meeting tomorrow night at 5:30, and we will review the Highway Fund, Solid Waste Sanitation Fund, General Debt Service Fund, and review any other budgets as necessary. So see you tomorrow evening at 5:30. Thank you. We are adjourned.